What's happening, good people? Welcome to Parks Rec Unplugged. I'm your host, Lindsay Lee, and right next to me I have Karinga Arifu, aka Mr. A, and Mr. Roddy Brown.
Good morning, Greensboro. I'm currently the center supervisor here at Peeler, and we have a once-a-month Pancakes and Careers program. That's been a wonderful addition to our community and our offerings for the community. I've been in Greensboro 5 years and worked for Parks and Rec approaching 5 years. And I love it here in Greensboro, originally from New Jersey, last 20 years in Brooklyn, New York, and always had a love for cooking. So it's one of my hobbies. So to be able to combine that with the work I do here at Peeler is wonderful. Thank you.
Good evening, good afternoon. My name is Ronnie Brown. I am originally from Paterson, New Jersey, and I'm here living in Greensboro, North Carolina for 2 years. And I noticed Peeler Center over here, and I was interested in what was going on inside. So I stopped in one day and I realized that they had a recreation center here. So I started coming to the gym, working out 3 to 4 times a week. And then I got involved by being a volunteer. Whatever Mr. A, my good friend, need, I volunteer with him. So today I'm here to present a little cooking here on the cooking career day that they have. So I am here to volunteer to cook.
Good morning, Greensboro, and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to share with you one of my pancake recipes and a scrambled egg recipe. Again, it's a monthly program here at Peeler, Pancakes and Careers. People come for jobs, for information, resources, and an important part of that is to fill their bellies. So everyone loves pancakes. I haven't met too many people that don't, and scrambled eggs is a standard. So I'm gonna get into and show you step by step my recipe ingredients for pancakes. First, I'm gonna start with just any store-bought mix. You can make them from scratch. There's plenty of recipes you can find online, but I find just the store-bought mix where I just need to add water. They're generally called complete mixes. I'm gonna start with that. We're gonna do it for 2 cups. So this recipe is for 2 cups of complete pancake mix. We're going to do this recipe is actually a blueberry lemon. So it's a special recipe I'm sharing with you all. We're gonna start fresh is always best. So we're gonna start with some fresh blueberries I mashed up. Of course you need butter that obviously I'm gonna add to the skillet. The blueberry lemon, so I use fresh lemons. Lemon zest, we're gonna zest with the grater into the bowl and water, essentially. Some of the other seasonings I'll share with you as well as part of this recipe is vanilla. And I found this in my kitchen, an old school grinder. So I've actually put some cinnamon. So cinnamon is gonna be one of the ingredients that's important for flavor. And it's a pretty simple recipe. You can do it at home very easily. Of course, you like fluffy. Some people prefer pancakes fluffy. There's different ways. So I'm gonna start off with a mixing bowl. And this is the pre-made pancake mix. Again, 2 cups. I'm gonna add my bowl. Next, I'm going to add the seasoning. So we're gonna add the cinnamon. And this grinder, again, you can just grate it, obviously get grated cinnamon. A few turns of the magic grinder. Open the drawer and voila, I have some ground cinnamon the old school way. This is Ceylon cinnamon, by the way. I get it from Deep Roots Food Co-op. It's a real good cinnamon, just a little bit. I'd say maybe a half a teaspoon cinnamon. Next, I'm gonna add the blueberries. I told you fresh blueberries mashed up to the mix. I'm gonna add a dash of vanilla. Last but not least, before I add the water, I'm gonna get some lemon zest. So I like to use this small part of the grater. And the lemon will really set off the flavor. Kind of helps combine everything together. And last but not least is adding the water. And again, you want your pancake mix to be, again, not too runny, but of course not too thick. I like to use a whisk. It's a very good kitchen tool, versatile. I'm gonna whisk that up. Get a good consistency. So you see this is a little too thick, so I'm gonna add a little more water. Try not to make a mess. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, so this is pretty good. So you want a consistency about like that to be able to pour. And that's essentially it. Now on to cooking. Here, peeler, again, I like these electric griddles. They're very versatile. We use them for a lot of different things. We're gonna add butter. It's already preheated. So when you add your pancakes, and a lot of things in cooking, you want your pot or skillet to be hot already. So it starts cooking right away. So I'm gonna add a little butter. And I'm only gonna make 4 in this batch, so we don't need to fill up the whole skillet. I like to use real butter. Some people prefer, you can use coconut oil. Not so much olive oil. Coconut oil is a good alternative. Spread that butter around on your surface. And I do cooking sometime with young people in summer camp. And one thing, just to be able to pour a pancake. So again, it's circular, obviously. You want to pour in the middle and let it spread out. So let me do these 4. I'm gonna make little smaller ones. So pour right in the middle. I'll make some medium-sized ones today. And you can use, again, I just pour by sight, but you can of course use a scoop to get even, if you want like a 1/4 cup or even a 1/2 cup size pancakes to be real consistent. But I just pour by look. Get them about the same size. And there we go. So pancakes, again, you want to obviously be cooked thoroughly. And one of the signs is when you see bubbles. So it usually takes, I have this set at 350. Your pot, I'd use a medium, not too high if you're doing on a stove top. But let them cook each side until you see bubbles coming through before you flip. So while I do that, while this cooks, it's gonna be a few minutes. Some other alternatives, sometimes I add nutmeg. I grate nutmeg, just in a grater. Pancakes are very versatile, whatever you enjoy. Seasonal fruit is always a good idea. Strawberries when they come in the season, obviously blueberries, to apples I've done. Again, pancakes are very versatile. We're gonna add today, and what we do for pancakes and careers is just a store-bought syrup. Personally, I prefer maple syrup, real maple syrup. It's expensive, but you can find it at most markets. And some people add butter. I don't add butter, but again, butter enhances flavor, so you can add butter after the pancakes are done as well. So let's check on these. I see a few bubbles coming up on some of them. It's not quite ready. You can always use a spatula, just lift up a corner, see if it's ready. And again, we're going for golden brown. So you want a golden brown. This one looks ready. There's a few bubbles, but I'm gonna go ahead and flip this one. We'll take a look. And this is the first one I poured. Oh yeah, that's a good color. You want to zoom in on that? I don't know what the other ones look like. That was good. So that's what the color you want. I think everybody prefers. Of course, remember which one you poured first. So that's generally ready first. So that was the first flip. I think this was number 2. Yeah, that's a good color. These are a little bigger, but I think they're ready. Okay, flipping. It's all in the wrist. Last one. It's about ready. Okay, good. So that's a good color for your pancakes. I enjoy them like that. And these are kind of fluffy. Again, without adding extra baking powder, just this pre-made mix. And also, I forgot to mention, make sure you mix it good. That's why I like this whisk. You can get the corners, so there's no pockets of powder. Sometimes that happens with pancake. So this gets it pretty good. And they're fluffy. And they're ready. Here we go. Voila. Next, I'd like to share with you to accompany the pancakes is an egg recipe. Scrambled egg recipe, you can find hundreds online. This one I'm gonna share with you has a secret ingredient that gets a lot of people talking and wondering what it is, what's different about the eggs. And I'll share that in a second with you. But let's just go over the ingredients. Of course, we have eggs. I'm gonna do a batch of just 4 eggs. Generally, I make about two eggs per person when I do a recipe. The seasoning is important. I lightly season them, but this is a seasoning mix. We have pepper, salt, garlic, onion, and another ingredient called berbere, which I get from Deep Roots Market. It's a East African like paprika. It's a pepper, smoked. It's real good flavor. So I love berbere. I put it in a lot of savory recipes. We're gonna use that. Butter, of course, in the pan, in the skillet today. I like to add milk. So this recipe, I like my eggs not too hard. I like them kind of soft, and I find just a little bit of milk makes them real smooth and silky consistency that I prefer. And the secret ingredient I'll share with you is fresh dill. And actually this dill, you can use powdered dill from the store as well, but if you have fresh dill, it really makes a difference. Fresh ingredients in general do. But this is actually grown on the Peeler Center Tower Garden, which you'll see our hydroponic garden in the lobby. We grow dill. Because I cook a lot, we have an active group of seniors from collard greens, but we also have a lot of herbs, fresh herbs. So we have English thyme, we have sage, we have basil, dill, so a little bit of everything. So I use those fresh herbs a lot when I cook. Of course, to start the eggs, we're going to crack the eggs. I also, from time to time, add cheese. Some of y'all maybe like cheese eggs, and that's really your preference. But again, I find with the adding the milk, it kind of is a good cheese substitute if you don't want all of that dairy. I know it's a little dairy in the milk, but not as much as cheese. But I'm not adding cheese to this recipe, but you can. I'm gonna add a little bit of the seasoning. Again, this is like a 5-spice. I think I forgot to mention salt. Yeah, salt, pepper, onion, garlic, berbere. Just a little bit. I'm gonna add my fresh dill, Probably not all of this. And a little bit of milk. So just a dash. Again, this is 4 eggs. Probably a tablespoon of milk, maybe 2 tablespoons of milk actually. And again, that whisk. Make sure you get a whisk for your kitchen if you're cooking. So I'm gonna whisk that up. You don't want to over mix your eggs. You want them to still have, just overbeat them. So that's enough. So that's good. Again, I mentioned before, when you cook, you want to have your cooking surface, whatever you use, warm already. You know, eggs cook like that, so you don't need to put it too high. But I'm going to turn it up a little bit, and then I'm going to add my butter to the pot. Just a little dollop of butter. Let that butter melt and get ready to do the eggs. Okay, you hear that butter? I hear that butter. Another good cooking tool is get a silicone spatula. It's very versatile, making sure you get all the ingredients out of the bottom. All right, so that pot is ready to add the eggs. And I'm just gonna pour them in. And then with this softer style of egg with the milk, I'm going to kind of start moving them around almost immediately. So yeah, moving them around is another way to make sure they're not too hard. And again, they cook quick. Almost there. It's about another minute and we'll be ready. But if any of you all are like me, sometimes I prefer breakfast for dinner when there's nothing else in the kitchen, or just sometimes I just like the pancakes, eggs, some bacon, French toast. All right, so these eggs are ready. I turn the fire off and I'm gonna get them out. Yeah, so this is a good consistency. I like it. And there you have it, part 2 to our breakfast this morning. In pancakes and careers, we have hash browns sometimes, bacon, pancakes, eggs are pretty much staples, fresh fruit, fresh juice. But here's scrambled eggs. Dill scrambled eggs.
Hello, I am here today to show you how I make salmon cakes on pancake and career day. The most important thing for me is presentation, that how you lay everything out. I have my eggs, my peppers, and the rest of my ingredients. As I go along, I'll show you my ingredients and why I use them. First of all, we're going to start off with 2 eggs. Since I use 2 cans, I use 1 egg per can. And the eggs are used to hold it together and the fluffiness of your salmon cakes. So I'm going to open it. Okay. 2 eggs. It's a hard egg. Here we go. And as I put them in, I stir it according to what I put in first, so that can all spread around. And as you see, the color of the yellowness of the eggs are molding everything together. As you can see how fluffy it looks now. I take my red peppers. I enter it in. The reason I put my peppers in first, because you put a lot of peppers and you want it to mix all the way into the ingredients. So as I stir, it gets flavor all the way around. It looks so pretty, and the color is just fantastic. We're going to use all the green peppers. I find green peppers have a lot of great flavor. And as we continue stirring, you can see how colorful and how beautiful it looks. You can use much pepper as needed. For me, I use a whole green pepper and 3/4 of the red. Next, I'm going to add my seasoning. This is seafood seasoning, and I kind of like this one for the flavor of the seafood and the texture of when you fry the salmon cakes and the flavor that it gives. You just sprinkle it all around. Next, I'm going to add, it's another flavor I use. It's a seasoning flavor with an Old Bay in it. Old Bay has a great smell of seasoning seafood in it, and it also has a pretty color. Okay, we're going to stir it so I can mix it all into it so everything has flavor. And as it cooks, you can just get the aroma in the kitchen, and people just come in and says, wow, what is that? What are you making? So as we go along, I also use garlic powder with pepper. Garlic powder with pepper, oh, it's just a wonderful taste, and not too hot or spicy, but it has an awesome taste. Use much as your preference and what you need. I use judgment, and I'm going to tell you a little secret. I learned how to cook from my mother. I used to sit at the table on Thanksgiving and watch her cook. Then we're going to add some onion powder. Like I said, I take my time and make sure everything gets thoroughly into it. So when you take a bite of it, you can taste the flavor of everything. And as we go along, this is just some seasoning to hold it and bind it together. I call this seasoning fish fry. And I also use a cup of breadcrumb. You can use any kind of breadcrumb, but I prefer Italian breadcrumb. And as you notice how it gets dry and how it sticks together, you have to bind it in there to make it out of a cake, so like you do with flour. This is just regular mayonnaise. The reason I use it is because as you fry your salmon cakes, I noticed that the inside, when you're frying it, it gets dry. Most people do not like dry salmon. So this mayonnaise keeps the inside moist so that when you bite into it, you get the crunchiness on the outside of the salmon cake, but in the inside, the moist, that the flavor that is nice and soft, it's not hard. It doesn't crumble up. So I usually use maybe a cup and a half, according to how much salmon cakes that you make. And as you stir, you notice that it's combining together. But last but not least, I use flour, regular flour. Flour helps it sticks together so it doesn't break up when you put it into the hot grease. I usually just sprinkle it straight across because you don't want it too dry. You want to keep some kind of moisture inside of it. I have a little secret here. I found this out when I was home playing around, that you just take it, scoop it inside the cup. Sometimes it does get stuck, but it comes out exactly like I would like it to be when you cut it out, instead of mashing it with your hands and everything. And I just tap my hand. And there you have what it should look like. I set my grease to 250 degrees. That way they'll fry gentle and they won't burn as you put it in. I usually fry them to 2 or 2.5. Some people like 3 minutes, depending on, some people like their food burnt, but I like mine till I can taste it. Okay. As you see, the golden brown texture of the salmon cakes, they just call your name.
I'm not even gonna sit there and lie to y'all. This smells good. And I got 2 taste testers right here to test it out for me. So let's go ahead and get it done. Is it Parks and Rec approved?
Yes. Really good.
There we go. Well, I'd like to thank both of y'all so much for cooking for us. I'd like to thank y'all for being here. Now, let's go to a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Spring is coming. The weather is getting better. If you need something to do, come run up on me. Tuesdays at 6:30 in May here at Country Park.
Good morning, Greensboro, and welcome to the historic Peeler Recreation Center, located at 1300 Sykes Avenue, Northeast Greensboro. My name is Karanga Arifu. I'm the center coordinator, and I want to take you on a brief tour. So follow me as I'll show you what goes on in Peeler. So entering our lobby to the left, we have our wall of history that we always give reverence to, and it's a very important part of the center. It was built in 1972. Miss Annie Laura Williams was its first center director, and its namesake was Mr. Abraham H. Peeler, an important community figure here in Greensboro. Also, Peeler is one of the few recreation centers which features a public fitness center. So our fitness center is open when the center is open, 6 days a week. And we have several free weights, machines. You can come and get a good workout. It's $15 a month for a membership, and we welcome all the public here. Oh, look, we have somebody getting a workout here now. Miss MJ, how's the workout going? Okay, great. Now here at Peeler, we pride ourselves, we're public servants. We pride ourselves on customer service, and we actually have someone from the public here, I believe, to share some resources and information. What is your name?
My name is Natalie Stroud, and I have a CNA school. So I'm trying to solicit some young girls that may not be ready to go to college, and they want to get trained to become a certified nurse's aide. So yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Welcome to Peeler.
Philip.
And also providing A1 service is Ms. Nala Muhammad, a roster employee here. Welcome to the Peeler Gym. Again, this historic building has hosted a lot of events and activities. We just finished a successful run of youth basketball, City of Greensboro Recreation League. We had 3 teams in the finals. We have open gym for young people, open gym for adults and families. The Active Adult Ahoy exercise program happens here Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10:30 to 11:15, open to the public and free and open to the public. Let's continue our tour. As we exit the gym, this door leads us to our renovated bathrooms off to your left. Now, and outside the bathrooms in the hallway, we have a information bulletin board where we try to keep up-to-date postings of resources, upcoming Parks and Rec programs, City of Greensboro programs as well. And that's an important part of our center, being a resource. Next, we have our small kitchen. We probably have the smallest kitchen out of the rec centers, but we do a lot of prepping and cooking here from time to time. Now, very importantly, in 2025, we dedicated what was previously called our club room, or multi-purpose room, to a historic giant here in Greensboro, Mr. Nicholas Bright. So we had a public dedication ceremony where we officially renamed this amenity here in Peeler after Mr. Nicholas Bright. He is still running programs and has ran a myriad of different programs here in Greensboro for young adults, for adults. I can't even list across many different categories of programming. Currently, he runs a Knights of Nobility mentorship program, as well as a parade and drill program. Mr. Bright, again, is still active, in his mid-80s now, still lives in the neighborhood, and I was very honored to be able to dedicate this room to him. Let's take a look, but a lot of things go on. Birthday parties, meetings, we have rentals, summer camp in this Bright room. Next, in the rear of our building, we have a game room, and we use it for, there's a senior card group that uses this space. Some kids use the space after school, arts and crafts, different thing. We have a little dance program that uses this room as well. Let's take a peek inside. And finally, a tour of the Peeler Center would not be complete without pointing out that we have another great community resource here behind Peeler, the Peeler Community Pool, which is free for residents. It had a grand reopening last year, 2025, and is scheduled to reopen Memorial Day 2026. We had a wonderful community showing last year with attendance. The pool was filled almost every day with young people, families, seniors as well. And that's a big community resource that we cherish and like to inform people about. Also, part of the center, we have a wonderful community garden growing here in the back of Peeler Center. And I'd like to introduce you to a prized member of our team, Miss Denise McCullough, a community garden coordinator here for the City of Greensboro, and she makes it happen. She's brought some wonderful resources here, and we're just getting started with this community garden. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Ms. A, for that introduction. Guys, welcome to the Peeler Gardens. This is our container gardens. These plots are amazing. We're growing flowers and strawberries, all of our cool weather things. These are exciting times. We are actually growing a Green Greensboro here at Peeler Recreation Center. Let me take you inside and let you show what we're doing inside. Follow me. So normally if I was in the garden, I would also wear proper attire, which means I would have my boots on, I would have my hat on, I would have my gloves on, as well as I would have lots of water to stay hydrated. So in Greensboro, we're growing a Greener Greensboro, one organic seed at a time. Let me show you what else we're doing here at Peeler Recreation Center. In this corner, we actually have what's called a tower garden. Most of you have probably heard of hydroponics and aquaponics with fish. This tower garden actually is an aeroponic growing system, which allows us to grow all of our fruits and vegetables year-round inside the building. So it doesn't matter what happens outside, we can still continue to grow. So under this tower, we have some collard greens and herbs. We have lots and lots of cilantro. Mr. A loves to cook here, so we love to provide him with the herbs to do so. Let me tell you how aeroponic tower gardening happens. So again, no soil, just water. We take our rock wool, and this is what we use instead of soil. It's the medium that we use. We simply take our rock wool, we place a seed inside the hold here, place it inside of a net pot, and place the net pot on the tower, and then magic happens. If the tower garden was clear, it would look something like this. If it was clear plastic. So this is some time, and if you can see there's amazing root systems that's growing. This is a system that allows us, again, to grow all of our food inside the building on a vertical growing system, and we're very fortunate to be able to grow both inside and outside here at Peeler Recreation Center. Bye, guys.
Thank you for joining Parks Rec Unplugged. Until next time, we out.